Welcome. See you. Happy Monday, I think it is. Okay, so let's start by getting clear on why we're here. So you have an idea of why you're here. Maybe you don't have an idea of why you're here, but if you have an idea, either way, just take a look. What's your motivation? Now there's two honest answers. One is I want something. The other answer is, it's an honest answer, is I want to be rid of something. So of the two, I would say I want to be rid of something is more honest. Because I want something is really just sort of a front for I want to be rid of something. So let's take a moment, and I want you to consider, remember a moment in which you fulfilled a desire. So you wanted something, right? The desire is that you want something. It could be anything. I'm hungry. I want to eat. I want to be satiated, or I am tired. I want to go to sleep, or I miss my friend. I want to see my friend. I'm going to get together with my friend. Whatever it is, anything, big, small, doesn't matter. Okay. So now consider, look within yourself. Okay. So this is, you're able to remember this desire. So notice the desire, the longing. So this is a feeling, right? You have a feeling, you feel that you desire, you feel a longing, you feel this desire. Now, remember the experience of the fulfillment of the desire. Just in that one moment of the fulfillment, not the next moment, because the next moment there's another desire. But in the one instant of fulfillment, just that it's only a fraction of a second, but in that one instant, what happens? Notice, what is the fulfillment of the desire? It's the absence of the desire, isn't it? For one moment. So again, notice, you can remember because it's still here, this desire. So notice just the desire, just desire. It's desire, it's just desire. Doesn't even have to be for a particular thing. It doesn't even have to have a particular object. It's just the desire. So notice that desire, it's present now. I want something, I want something. Some desire, just the feeling of I'm wanting. And then notice that you can allow the glimpse of fulfillment for a moment. Just allow that glimpse of fulfillment. So what is the point? The point is, if you really can observe this, then you notice that this desire, okay, so I started out by saying, why are we here? We're either here because we think we want something or because we want to get rid of something. And then I'm saying, let's first look at I want something. Let's first look at that. And so we're looking at what is it to want something. So we're familiarizing ourselves, exploring directly, what is this experience of desire? To want something, what is that? So you can notice, I want something. That experience, it's an experience. You can feel it. That's how you know that it's happening, right? If I have no feeling and only a thought, then there's nothing really there for it to of substance. It has to have a feeling. The thought on its own, just sound. It's meaningless. The thought with the feeling, now this has some kind of juice to it. So the feeling is what matters. The feeling is what gives the sense of substance to it. So notice the feeling of I want. This is experiential right now. So notice this feeling of I want. And then notice what it is to have fulfillment, just for one instant. Now, if it's not clear, okay, if that's not clear to you, if you're thinking, well, I have no idea what on earth this crazy guy is talking about, then I'll give you we'll walk through it together, okay? So just imagine that there's something that you want. Okay, so now you have an object of your desire, whatever that is for you. What do you want? There's something you want in your life. You want more money, you want better health, you want more vitality, you want better relationships, you want whatever that is. It doesn't matter. You want a cupcake, I don't care. You want something. And imagine that that's dangling in front of you, right? So there it is, you can see it in front of you. So now that stirs up this desire, you need to be able to see it in your mind's eye, in your imagination. You imagine it there, and now you're drawn toward it. Isn't that so? Isn't that what the longing, the desire is? You're being drawn toward it, drawn toward it. So it's like we talk about a carrot being dangled in front. We're lured toward it. I desire that. So I'll move toward it. So feel that desire. It's a feeling. It's a feeling of movement toward. So what does this give a sense of inwardly? Stability? Not so much, right? Completeness? No, not really. Right? It's destabilizing and it gives a sense of lack. Otherwise, why would I move toward? So what it reveals is there's this sense of lack and instability here. I move toward that because there's a sense that, ooh, that will give me the fulfillment. So just notice that within yourself. Hey, this is your whatever, that cupcake, the vacation, the big bank balance, whatever that is, the abundant energy, singing in the rain, whatever that is out in front of you. I want you to imagine that there and really feel the desire, feel that, what that is, and notice what that experience is. Now, try this. Okay, close your eyes, and I want you to imagine that thing being, instead of you moving toward it, I want you stay where you are. Okay, so feel yourself anchored here. Feel yourself stabilized here. Feel yourself at rest here. So let go completely. Surrender completely. And imagine whatever that is, that object of your desire, just imagine that is now magnetically drawn to you, and feel it merging into you, into your wholeness, your stability. So here you are, you feel yourself stable, whole, relaxed, at ease. And this object of your desire just either completely fades away, that's fine too if that happens, or if it's still there and you still have that sense of attraction, instead of you moving toward it, let it be drawn into you and merge into you, so that you no longer have an object of desire, and now you experience fulfillment. So this fulfillment is this stability, ease, abundance, peace. No need to move toward, no need for anything. So just for a moment, give yourself that experience, allow that experience. So this is the experience of fulfillment. Just allow that for a moment. So you're just completely letting go, just completely letting go of everything, all movement toward or away, you're letting go of. You don't need to grasp at anything, nor do you need to push anything away. You're just completely at ease for one instant. Notice what this experience is. This is the experience of fulfillment. Okay, so hopefully that makes clear in a very direct way that what fulfillment is, and that you don't need anything. You don't, any desire for something is actually unnecessary. So if you think you want something, then now you have this secret information, which is that in the attainment of the object of desire, what is the actual result? The actual result is fulfillment. Where is the fulfillment? Here. The fulfillment is not the result of the attainment. The fulfillment is revealed when the desire dissolves. The fulfillment is already present. So we can take a shortcut. Now, this is not to say it's bad to desire. Not bad. It's not bad to have objects of desire. I'm not saying that. What I'm pointing out is right now, for our purposes, because we're meeting here to explore our direct experience, we can observe what is the actual nature of fulfillment. We can see that that fulfillment is already present. And so we don't, this idea that I'm here because I want something, we can do away with that. It's completely unnecessary. So now we're left with only, I want to be rid of something. This is more compelling, I think. It's more compelling because let's take a look. I mean, first of all the other things that the objects of desire, the things we think we want, the movement toward, it's actually all just get away, isn't it? It's really just defined by what I don't want. And I dress it up and make it into something positive. Oh, I want more money. Really, what it means is I want to get rid of the lack. I want abundant energy. It's really dressed up, fancy, positive shine on, I want to be rid of the lack of energy. I want to be rid of the fatigue. I want love and harmony. It's really, I want to be rid of the seething anger. I mean, it's all, we just dress it up in a positive way. So now, if this is why allowing the fulfillment is challenging. Because if I really allow the fulfillment, then unease, uncomfortable. There's all that stuff that I was trying to hide from. Suddenly, I don't have anywhere to look to get away from it. Oh, by the way, I should have prefaced this by saying this is not for the faint of heart. I mean, I guess that goes without saying, but just so you know, this is not for the faint of heart. And I mean that sincerely, because many of us have built up our whole identity without even recognizing it in this, by trying to disregard what we don't want, looking at what we think we do want. Now, some of you have gotten to the point, and you know who you are. You're already battling with demons 24/7, and so there's nowhere to escape to. In which case, you're in the right place. But for those for those who are still thinking that you're going to get something that's going to fix all of that, then this is your last chance. You can leave now. Okay, so you've been warned. So now what we're left with is what we don't want, what we want to get rid of. Because you can see the attainment of those objects of desire, all that they can do is temporarily quench the desire. And what's revealed is the fulfillment that's already present. Now, if we're not attentive, if we're not present, aware, conscious, then we overlook that and we think, oh, it was just the shine wore off. I need another new thing, or more of that, better. This is an addiction, right? That's what addiction is. Just keep grasping more. Never enough. Craving. Never enough. So now we're confronted, because we're seeing in our direct experience, we can't deny this anymore. You could try, but it won't work, because now you know the secret, which is every time that I attain the object of my desire, whatever that is, no matter how I've dressed it up, no matter how spiritual it is, no matter how noble it is, no matter how whatever it is, all is the same, in that as soon as I attain that, there's this revelation of the fulfillment that's already present. Now, if I check out and go unconscious, then I just chase after the next shiny thing. Vicious cycle, gets worse, more desperate. Nothing's enough. Need more. At first, all I want is just $1,000. All I want is $10,000. All I want is $100,000. All I want is $1 million. When I get $1 million, I'll be happy. All I need is $10 million. All I need is $1 billion. When I have $1 billion, I mean, you'd have to be crazy not to be satisfied with $1 billion. Now I just need $10 billion. So you see how this, right? You see this play out in your life. So now we're seeing that this fulfillment's already here. I don't need to go grasping for anything. Nothing that I can attain will actually provide me. It cannot augment the fulfillment. The fulfillment is already complete. Test it out again, if that's not clear to you. Imagine you've just eaten the cupcake. It's delicious. Now, just for one instant, because it's not going to last, just that one instant, you're satiated. Now you can let go And what's here? This is the fulfillment. Nowhere to go, nothing to attain, nothing needed for one instant, just 1/2 second. That's all you get before the next craving arises. What am I going to do now? I'm bored. Wonder what's on TV. Any new music I could listen to? But now you can see, okay, this fulfillment's already present. The fulfillment is just the absence of the craving. That's it. Already complete. But then there's an agitation, isn't there? Something's not right. Something's off. Oh, I don't like it. I don't feel good. So this is what I don't want. This is more important. In my view, it's way more important than what I do want. What I don't want is way more important than what I don't want is way more important than what I do want, because what I do want is just a facade anyway. What I don't want, this is what scares me. And if you try to take this away from me, I'll get really ugly. I'll become vicious. That's why I said you've been warned, okay? So if you have any kind of discomfort, frustration, anger, impatience bubbling up, you're in the right place. That's good. That's what this is about. That's pushing the buttons. If you're thinking, what is he talking about? Get on with it. Get to the point already. That's good. That's what I'm talking about. That's what you don't want. The boredom, depression, anger, frustration, discouragement, disappointment, pain, hatred, everything that doesn't fit with your image of who you are becoming. It's what you're trying to get away from. Okay, so let's see what can be done here. Okay, so close the eyes. And notice here that really giving a name to it, giving a name to what you don't want, it has a time and place. There's a value to that, but it's limited. So I'm not saying it's not valuable. I'm just saying that the value of it reaches a limit. It can only go so far. Now, it may be necessary. It may be very necessary at a certain stage to give a name to it. So if you want to give a name to it, if that's valuable to you, then give a name to it. What is this? What name best fits it? Fear, anger, rage, sadness, depression, discouragement. And then next, notice that as I said, that name reaches a limit. It only goes so far. And once you've gone to the limit of that, then just be willing. It's like, that's the vehicle. You took the vehicle as far as it's the end of the line. Now you've got to get out and go by foot. So be willing to get out of that vehicle and now go by foot. So here we are. And we're just sort of stumbling around in the dark. So it's very dark here. If it seems dark to you, you're in the right place. It's dark. So there's a lack of clarity here because everything that you've understood is along that line that you've reached the end of now. So the habit for most of us is to get back in the vehicle, go back along that line, back to what's known. So we can still name it, label it, judge it, have stories about it, scheme, hopefully get back into positive land where we can start to project into a positive future how we're going to become something better, attain something better, only to backslide, get back into our vehicle of depression, anger, frustration, and whatever, come back to the end of the line and then repeat the same cycle over and over and over, bouncing back and forth within this realm of the known. But here we're doing something different. It's actually radically different because you're just getting out of the vehicle, abandon the vehicle. You're on foot in the dark. You have no idea what you're doing. And hopefully you're uncomfortable. So now you can peer into the dark, and here your imagination can come alive, creating all kinds of scary images, fantasies, death, destruction, torture, humiliation, pain, endless pain, monsters of all shapes and sizes. And here you are, absolutely unequipped, blind, defenseless. So when the habit here in this discomfort is to do something, run away, protect, roll up into a ball, numb, but here the invitation is to allow yourself to remain open. And notice that this is sort of the, in a lot of ways, it's the inverse of the desire. It's like a mirror image of it. So notice how there's a, you're not stable, you're seeking to protect, wanting to move away from. And so we can use the same approach here that we did when we were exploring desire. So here, just notice the feeling. Notice this feeling, the feeling of discomfort, whatever you want to call it. Notice that feeling. Maybe you can notice it as a kind of sense of insecurity, shaking, trembling, maybe not overtly, but at a subtle level. Maybe you notice that trembling, tingling, and notice the compulsion to tense up, protect yourself, think about it, try. And instead, what I'd like to invite you to do is nothing. But by nothing, what I mean is a very specific nothing. So to notice every subtle impulse, habit of trying to do something, trying to get it under control, trying to figure it out, trying to protect yourself, trying to be on guard, trying to be aware, trying all of these things, and instead be so conscious of all of that that you are able to not do those things. So you just are opening to the trembling, opening to the tingling, opening to the anxiety, opening to all of it. And so it's like you are allowing now all that has the unseen, unvoiced, unknown terrors that are coming after you. You're just stopping here, opening, remaining open, and allowing them to come and merge, allowing them to be here. And just take a moment to really allow that. So now notice as you are just simply allowing, what is really here. So you're hopefully you notice that your ideas about what's here are not the reality of what's here. And that the direct experience is if you really allow it, that it's ecstatic. If you really pay attention, what you will notice is that, and this is, you have to be very light with this, because if you start thinking too much, you'll get distracted, but just very, very lightly, you can just start to notice that everything that you thought you wanted, not necessarily the specific expressions, but the essence of what you wanted is fulfilled in many times over in an overflowing way by receiving what it is that you were avoiding. So allow yourself to really soak that in. Feel the fullness of it, the it's a really magnificent power. If you stop fighting with what you don't want, if you stop avoiding, it's as if you were being chased by the sun and the moon, all of the celestial powers, all of the powers of the universe, and they were all wearing monster masks. And when you finally stop, you discover that they all merge into you, and you are that vast celestial totality. I find it's helpful to observe it, observe what's behind. See, what's behind you can't see. So if you turn around, if you turn your head around and you try to see it, you're not going to see it because it's always behind wherever you look. It's the eye. The eye, like the eye can't see itself. The finger can touch, right? So the finger can touch the hand. The finger can touch other fingers, but the finger can't touch itself. The eye can't see itself. But it's self-aware. So this is very very, very simple, very accessible exploration. And What it does not do is it does not answer any of the questions that the mind has at that level, because the mind is insentient. So it's unable to recognize its own source. So you can just allow that to, you just notice that even when in the past 40 minutes, the mind has disappeared. Maybe it's reappeared, disappeared again, reappeared, disappeared. So the mind disappears, but you did not disappear. You can't disappear. I mean, I'm using the word disappear in a loose sense, not in the literal sense, but in the sense of you have been present. The mind comes and goes. So the mind, you can look again, if we come back to one of the first things we looked at, you allow yourself this experience of fulfillment. So just let the outward movement toward the object of desire go for a moment. Just rest. If you're not sure how to do that, you could just sigh and notice that for a moment in that sigh, it's temporary, but for a moment, just somewhere, probably toward the bottom of that sigh, there's just a moment of relief. That's the fulfillment. So you can notice that in this fulfillment, there's an absence of mind. And actually, in the absence of mind, there is regardless of what judgments might bubble up in the next moment, in this one moment of this relief, of this fulfillment, there are no problems, there's no pain, there's no depression, there's no unhappiness, there's no disappointment, there's no discouragement, there's no fear, there's no anxiety, there's no anger, there's no resentment. Just for this one moment, it's temporary. And I know what happens is the next moment, the thought says, yeah, but I want something permanent. I don't want something temporary. That's, if we overlook what we can discover in this instant, then nothing else is really possible. We have to recognize it first, because the problem is not, which is clear when you see this, the problem is not that we need to do more or understand more in order to attain something and hold on to it for longer. The problem is all of the striving to know more, have more, hold on to more, because all of that maintains this vicious cycle of constantly craving more, 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 more. But in each moment of fulfillment, even though temporary, this is perfectly still. There's no problem, just for this one instant. And this is what we need to recognize first. If we can recognize this first, now we know, now we have a call it an essential recognition. And from my perspective, everything comes out of this. This is essential. I call it essential because this is what everything comes out of. So again, just if it's not clear, if it's clear to you and you can just give yourself that moment of relief, that moment of fulfillment again, right now. If not, try the sigh. And notice something about what you discover here, because here in this moment of fulfillment, there's a total stillness, silence, rest, no mind, no problem. Now, you are here, right? You have any doubt about that? It should be obvious. The mind will doubt. Of course, the mind says, wait a second, I'm not sure. I don't know. Let me think about it. But the mind wasn't there. You were there. You are here. So do it again. Give yourself this one instant of fulfillment. And then you can notice there's no mind, but you are here. No problem, but you are here. No desire, but you are here. You are here when none of those other things are present. You are here when those things are present. You are that common thread. So we've got a few more minutes. Let's make the most of these few minutes by just allowing ourselves, giving ourselves this fulfillment, this rest. Just allow that. And you now know you have the essential recognition. We've explored this in several ways. And so even if you don't understand it, you have enough experience to know that it may not be comfortable, but it doesn't have to be comfortable. So that's not a good criteria to determine whether it's successful or not, is whether it's comfortable. Just for the next few minutes, let's just rest quietly and just notice what we notice, and don't give rise to a thought. See that that's possible. The mind says, wait, hold on, what? I don't know about that. Just don't give rise to a thought, just for a few minutes. Okay. It's that hard work. It's kind of hard when we're not accustomed to being recharged. We're accustomed to being depleted. But hopefully now that gives you an experience of what it is to be recharged. And you can start to recognize the difference in how what happens is that we get things flipped around. We think that we have to be that this depleted, anxious, destabilized state is our home base. And at first, when we start to have this experience of being recharged, Say, this is weird, this is hard work. I don't know about this. But the more you allow yourself that deep rest, the more you're recharged, the more that becomes familiar, and at a certain point it starts to switch. You realize how crazy it was to have lived from that bizarro state so much of the time. All right, so I will end the recording of the formal portion. For those who are on live here, we'll stay on for the Q&A. So I'll do that. There'll be the announcement from Zoom, so it might be a little bit loud. Here we go.